we're saying is, if you want to get better at signing lots of clients in a short period of time through promotional activities and campaigns, then these 3 things might be useful. We have just wrapped up an event where we've signed 20 new clients in 8 days. And in this podcast, we're going to have a conversation around 3 key insights that we feel have been instrumental to make this happen so that you can copy what we did. Let's go. Episode 71.
Big numbers.
Big numbers. So in this conversation, you all right?
Yeah, I'm good.
How are you feeling today, mate? I was just going to go straight in, but I feel like sometimes you need a bit of foreplay just to warm up.
Yeah, as always, foreplay. You don't want to go in dry.
What a start. What a start.
I'm all right. Do you know what?
You're not all right.
Linking to what we're about to talk about, I've currently got 4 mouth ulcers.
You're a picture of health.
I am a picture of health. One across the side of my tongue and then 3 nestled in on the same cheek on that side.
And why do you have 4 mouth ulcers? Please explain.
Well, we've just finished a promotion to invite more people into our world, and we are big believers in sprinting and resting when it comes to growing a business. So this has been a really big push for us.
Yeah.
And we've both worked really, really hard to create an opportunity for people to see what it is that we do.
Yeah. And also context, like you came off the back of Disney World.
Yeah.
Like the most mental 2-week holiday that you had, straight in, kind of virtually straight into this.
Yeah, it was a great mental break going to Disney World. And then we went down to Miami to watch Messi play, who's my boy's favorite player.
Yeah.
It was a great mental break, but very physically kind of intense, not a lot of sleep, etc. And then came back to this big event.
Yeah.
So those 2 things together have probably led to the mouth ulcers.
So we're gonna chat on 3 things. We're gonna keep this one fairly Jason, as we would say, Jason Punchin, for any of those of you. No one else will probably get that reference.
That is a very isolated joke.
I know. We've got to have our and if 3 insights to the 20 clients in 8 days thing. And basically what we're saying is, if you want to get better at signing lots of clients in a short period of time through promotional activities and campaigns, then these 3 things might be useful.
Yeah. And the first thing, just to finish up my point, this isn't how you're going to grow your business year round. This is something that you're going to do maybe every 2 or 3 months. That's going to give you an influx of clients because it's exhausting and you don't want to end up with 4 mouth ulcers all the time, right? So when you do it, it's a lot of work, but the reward is huge. And we want to share the 3 big things to make sure that when you do push, you actually get the result that you want.
Yeah. And if you don't go to Disney World with 2 kids for 2 weeks prior to doing a campaign, that's also advisable.
Smart.
So we've got 3 things basically relating to what happens before an event, before you do a thing, whether that's, whatever the thing is, we can touch on that. What do you do during, when you're delivering and showcasing, and then what do you do afterwards?
Yeah.
So pre, during, and post. So the first one, in my extensive notes here on screen, building excitement. How do you build excitement for a thing?
I think it starts by, with all marketing, marketing is not about painting this perfect scenario. It's about actually getting people to resonate with the problem that you're talking about. So if you understand who it is that you want to help as a personal trainer, what is the type of person that you want to help? That's one thing. But you need to go a level deeper than that. And you need to figure out, well, what is that person currently thinking when they get out of bed in the morning? What's the thing that's going through their mind? What is the mental or physical block that's stopping them from achieving the thing that they really, really want? And if you can tap into that, if you can articulate that in the right way, and then you can suggest that there's a solution to that you'd be happy to talk them through and show them, that's how you're going to build excitement.
And it links back to never sell to a lead. You might run an event, or you do a workshop, or you do a free, you give away some free sessions. But what you're not doing is saying come and taste my personal training services. You're saying, hey, I'm created this thing to solve a problem. Do you have that problem? Yeah. Well, you might want to do this thing. And then during that, or on the build up to that, you're doing what you said.
Yeah. At no point in that build up towards the thing that you're going to be delivering are you linking it towards the thing that you are going to eventually sell to them later on? Because then it's just like every other fucker. Yeah. Right? You're saying 20% off to come and do my thing, or come and do this and then buy my big thing. Actually, they don't give a shit about that. What they care about right now is the fact that you've presented a solution to the problem, and it's super easy for them to figure out whether you're a waste of time or whether you're worth listening to, because they don't have to invest anything into it other than a little bit of time.
Yeah, exactly. So let's move on. That's kind of the building excitement. What about like during? You were talking about, know-how. We learned this from someone who's super smart. What's know-how all about?
Yeah, I think it'd be good to get your thoughts on this as well, because this came from you originally. But one of the things, we've got this matrix moment in our delivery, which we do for free for how many coaches came to do this for free?
We had 106 show up live to an event.
Okay, so 106 people turn up to learn how to get the solution to the problem that we were talking about. What we did in great detail and with full transparency is we showed them exactly what they need to do. What we didn't do is show them how to actually do it. And what this does psychologically is it turns them into a Churchill dog. Anybody that knows the Churchill dog from insurance adverts.
Oh, yeah.
We get them nodding along. We get them going, yep, totally resonate with that. Yep, that's exactly what I need to do. Yep, I am experiencing that problem. And we say, cool. So the way that you solve that is you need to do this, this, and this. This is how this works. This is what you do here. This is what you do here. But the integral details of how to actually implement that, how to actually get it to work and take it to the end result is something that we don't cover. And just for context, this was a 3-day event where we did 2 hours at each day. So that's 6 hours of content of explaining exactly what they need to do. The natural thing that happens in the human brain is that they agree, they nod along like the Churchill dog, and naturally, without us having really to do anything, their brain goes, I get that. It makes complete sense. How? How do I actually do that? And the how lives in what we do in the post event. That's how we get people to create that intrigue and want to know a little bit more about what it is that we do. Just a note on this. When you know that that's happening and you know that people are thinking, well, how do I do that? That's not the moment to say, come and work with me, come and sign up. That's just a note that you're ready to ask if they're up for learning the next part. Yeah.
And the summary that when we first came across this idea, know-how is a great word because it means I know how to do something. And so you want to show that through proof and through knowledge and models and step-by-step guides and stuff. But you don't want to show them how. So know how, 2 words, know and how is like just what you said. I'm not going to show you how to do it because that's what you'd have to pay me to do. And I'd have to walk you through the journey. And so, you want to show people that you know what to do, but you don't want to show them how to do it, which is a lovely little play on a word. So that's the second one, during. Let's talk about post, which is creating future. What does that mean?
Well, once you've explained what it is that they need to do and the right people, I think how many people said that they wanted to know how we actually do that?
It was almost exactly half, so just over 50.
Cool. Once you get that level of interest, the next step is to be able to actually personalize what it is that you've spoken to a number of people. And we have ways inside of our program of showing you how to do this as a personal trainer, how to speak to a lot of people about what it is they need to do. And then those that want to learn how to individualize that process. And
jumping in there, it's a little bit like related to a PT. Like a lot of people want to lose some weight. And you could say, well, to lose weight, what we need to do, you need to lower your calories and increase your expenditure and just sustain that over a period of time.
Yeah.
Like any trainer can say that. But Jane and Jeff are sitting there going, well, how do I do it? Because I've got 2 kids or I'm self-employed. I run my own business. I've got a bad ankle. I've got this, whatever obstacles and barriers throw up in the way now is like the need where the need comes up to be like, well, how does it work for me?
Yeah. So it's personalizing the process, the how to, and creating a journey for that person. So for us, that's us talking to them, but really it's about us asking questions. So cool. Did you enjoy what we went over? Did it make sense? Has it created a little bit of clarity for you as to what your next steps need to look like?
Yeah.
Yes, it has. Okay, cool. Well, let's dive into your journey. Tell me a little bit more about where you're at right now. And really what we're trying to do is build something that we've must have spoken about before in these podcasts called the bridge model, which is something that you brought to me many years ago, which is creating this space, this gap between where they are now and where they want to get to, which creates natural tension. It creates this feeling of, I really don't like where I am now, but fucking love the idea of this. That creates this natural urge to want to solve it as quickly as possible.
Yeah.
And then all we do is we build the bridge, and we take from this huge toolbox of things that we have inside our program, we pick out the 2 or 3 things that are going to create that bridge.
Yeah.
So you've told me that you're here. We know where you want to get to. You understand what it is that you need to do. All that's left for us to do now is to pick out the specific things that are going to get you from here to here as quickly and efficiently as possible. And so we're personalizing everything that we covered globally. And when we're speaking about the what, we're personalizing it to the individual so that they learn, okay, that's how I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
This means that you don't really have to sell, because once you've done all of this work, once you've created this amazing experience, you've invested a decent amount of time with a person.
Yeah.
The final question is, want some help? Like, would you like some help in going from here to here?
You can do it on your own, or you can do it with me.
Yeah.
Do you want to chat about that, or you just put it to them? And if you've done the job up to that point, I think most people find, at least the way we teach it, that at least people say, I'd love to learn a bit more about that. And then that beautifully and smoothly opens up a sales conversation.
100%. There are some, and we experience this, there are some where we've explained the what, and they say, do you know what? That's enough for me right now. Like, I want to go and figure this out for myself.
Yeah.
Well, that's totally fine, because they're not the right people to have guidance. They want to go and make the mistakes. They want to go and
some, by the way, just to I don't want to sound like everyone else that chooses not to sign up to a program or to personal training is a loser, or like they're going to go and fuck it up. Like, some people might go and smash it on their own, and that's great. But just by being a bit agnostic to that and saying, you can choose which ones you like, you will naturally find the people that are ready to lean in.
Yeah. And I would suggest exactly the same to all personal trainers. When you get to that point, you literally give them the option.
Yeah.
So we now know exactly what it is that you need to do. We understand the things that you need to plug in order to close this gap between where you are now and where you want to get to. 2 choices, really. Now that you've got that information, do you want to come to the gym tomorrow and make some changes based on what we've covered and figure it out for yourself? Or would you like me to guide you through that journey? Because I've done this many times and I know exactly what it looks like.
I'm asleep right now because I'm literally telling you whilst I'm asleep.
Yeah, because it's that obvious to me. The goal for personal trainers in our program is that 70 to 80% of the time, people will go, yeah, I'd love some help on this. And that's when you can then, because you know everything about this person, you can then suggest from the 2, 3, 4, 5 options that you have, which one is the best one for them. And they just say, how does that sound? And 80% of the time it's going to be, sounds great, let's go.
There you go. So 3 things we've got for you there. Hopefully some of this is useful to you. Number 1, we need to think about how you build excitement in your next campaign or promotion. Number 2, know-how. You want to show lots of know-how, but know how to do it. And the third one, how are you currently creating an exciting future for the people that are now intrigued and interested in how to work with you? We hope that was useful. Closing remarks?
See you next week.
See you next week.